Okay, I think I got everything. Oh boy, I've been trying to get out of here for a minute. Yeah, look at that. Always hurting something. Oh wow. That thing. I always forget to charge something. Always something. Anyway, okay. So we don't have any rear. Oh well. Shit. I don't want to use that helmet. Okay. Well, I'm just gonna do another run my mouth video anyway, so I ain't really going on the road like that. I get this. I wanted to talk about battery maintenance and taking care of your battery today. That was the topic of discussion for today, because as you'll see in a second, I only got 69 volts on my bike, so I'm at about I guess about 40 something percent, 48, 47%. And what I had been doing the last couple days was being as though I wanted to do some performance videos and speed videos. I always wanted my battery to kind of be on full charge, so I was topping it off every night, even though I didn't need it at all. But I wanted my voltage to be way up to get top speed. But then I noticed, since I'm not running my bike at full speed and have my limiter at 40, I don't need full battery. So that was a waste and hurting some of my charge cycles, which is what I want to explain to you guys. Uh, and I wanted to try to give you some tips on how to manage your batteries and keep them in the best top performance as you can. And that would mean not overcharging your batteries, not topping them off all the time, especially if you're not riding that day, not charging them up to 100% and letting them sit. That's not good for your batteries. And you should always try to discharge them, not completely, but at least down to 10% or 20% before recharging them. You want to get a full cycle on your battery, and that way you get as many charging cycles as you can. See, I don't always follow my own rules as far as that goes, as far as battery stuff, because I'm a pretty hardcore DIY guy, and I can always replace my cells or repair my own battery. So I don't baby my batteries as I should. However, if you're a guy that you don't have any DIY skills and you have to spring for a battery, they're the most expensive part of your e-bike, you know. So you want to take the best care you can of your batteries. I don't give a shit, so I do mine any kind of way. But you can't always do like I said, as far as not topping your batteries off every day, especially if you only have a single battery system and that single battery is less than 20 amp hour. Depending on how far you got to ride every day, you need to top your battery off every night. if you have a long ride every day. And that's just because you don't have a large battery bank. So you want to make sure you have as much juice at all times. But me, myself, I got a 50 amp hour. So, I mean, I don't have to charge my battery sometimes for 3, 4, 5 days, depending on how much I ride. And even though I just said I was down to like 47, 48%, because it's a 50 amp hour, that would still mean I got like 23, 24 amp hours, which is still a whole lot of battery. So just want you to understand that. If you got a 15 amp hour or a 17 amp hour, you know, one of those batteries that comes with those bikes, you pretty much want to leave the house with your battery topped off unless you're only going a couple miles. That being said, like I said, that's the way you get the maximum life out of your battery, the maximum charge cycles, by running your battery all the way down to at least, you know, 20%, 10%. I wouldn't take it all the way down to nothing. You never want to take your battery all the way down until the BMS is shutting you down. Although that happens sometimes, that's not something you want to do on a regular. You also want to keep your batteries out of extreme heat. That's hard on your batteries. That's why heavy current drain on small battery systems where your battery is actually getting hot hurt your batteries as far as how many cycles you get out of those batteries. Same thing with overcharging batteries, which is hard to do, being as though you have a BMS. Your BMS isn't going to let you overcharge batteries. However, there are some guys that don't have BMSs, and I don't have to talk to them guys as much because most guys that aren't running BMSs, they're very knowledgeable. They're DIY guys. They're guys that's running hardcore, you know, high amperage systems. And that's the reason why they're not running BMSs, because they have like a 10 kilowatt, 15 kilowatt e-bike. And most BMSs don't allow more than 50 amps, 100 amps. So they have to completely bypass their BMS so that they can get all of those amps they're trying to get for those high power systems. Now they do have BMSs that go that high. I'm not sure, but most of the time when them guys running systems like that, where they're running 150, 200 amps, phase amps, they don't want BMSs, man, because their BMSs will constantly be shutting their batteries down. So it gets a little dangerous when you don't have a BMS, though. And when it comes to these lithium batteries, you better know what you're doing. That's something else I want to talk about. Because if you don't, these batteries can burn your house down. Let me explain why. Because even the best of us can make a mistake. I have long time ago. And sometimes you just forget. Like I had a battery pack, and that was for something else long time ago. And I was charging it with a power supply. And when you're charging like that, you need to be paying attention to your batteries while they're charging. You need to shut it down manually. So you need to be right there as they're charging. So when they reach the voltage you're trying to get them to, you can cut it off immediately. If not, you at least need to have one of those timers, like you can time and put on your lights to turn your lights on and off in your house at a certain time. You at least want to have some kind of timer on your power cable so it cuts off if you're absent-minded, if you're leaving away. Because once those 18650s reach their maximum potential, which is 4.2, anything way above that is overcharging them. And once you start overcharging 18650s, when you get way beyond that threshold, like maybe up around 5 volts, even if you get up, you might not be that high. But when you exceed that 4.2, they will start heating up and they'll go into what they call thermal runaway. When those batteries go into thermal runaway, it is nothing you can do about it. They will explode. They will catch fire and spark and shoot fireworks. It'll look like the 4th of July. And you cannot extinguish them with water. Water only makes lithium fires go crazier. So you need, you know, some type of extinguisher, and that doesn't even work. You basically can't put out a lithium fire, to be honest. I mean, you basically got to let them burn out. They're not going to stop burning until all the energy has been released. And let's see, to put that in context, what it's like, let's say you're putting your air in a tire. Tire's only going to hold but so much pressure. After you get beyond whatever that is, that inner tube's going to expand and expand and expand until it blows up. Same thing with charging an 18650. When you overcharge it, it will start expanding and expanding physically until that battery blows up. It can't hold any more power. You have exceeded its capacity and they will blow up. What happened to me, like I said, I was charging a battery pack that didn't have a BMS, and I was doing a million other things at the same time, and I simply forgot that this battery was charging. And I was just lucky that I didn't leave. I happened to be in the garage and I heard something popping, you know, making a cracking sound. And at the time, it wasn't the battery popping or cracking. Those batteries were expanding. So the plastic cabinet that the batteries was in, they were swelling up, and they caused the plastic cabinet to start breaking up, just like the Hulk. When he gets mad, he turns green and he pops his shirt off. Those batteries started popping the container. And just so happens that I knew what was going on once I realized it, and I was lucky. I grabbed that pack and I wrapped it up in a big old towel, and I ran out. Luckily, we had a lot of land, so I ran out into the middle of the field and I threw that thing down and got as far away from it as I could, because I knew it was about to explode. Luckily, it didn't explode while I was carrying it, because that would have been a mess. But it wasn't no more than 2-3 minutes after I got that battery out of the garage and took it out and sat it in the middle of the field, did the fireworks start going off. And when I say fireworks, yeah, it was like fireworks. Kaboom, pow, bang. And it doesn't stop until each and every one of those cells explodes. It's like a pack of firecrackers. When you light a pack of firecrackers, they all explode, they all go off. Same thing with a battery pack. You got 50, 60 cells in a battery pack. When those batteries start going in a thermal runaway, whichever one explodes first, the others are already hot. They're already getting ready to go. So once that one goes off, I mean, it's like boom, 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 boom. And I mean, had that happened inside of my garage, it would have burned my garage down. Ain't no doubt about it. And like I said, here I'm a guy that's knowledgeable. I know better. But that just goes to show it can happen to anybody. So lithium batteries aren't to be played with. If you have no idea what you're doing, don't F with them, because not only can overcharge them, send them in thermal runaway, there's other things that can do it. I mean, you can actually drop a battery pack if you drop it hard enough, and they're charged up fully, and you know, some kind of way short out by you dropping them. You know, a lot of those little nickel strips that they put on those battery packs, they put the little stickers in between them to keep the positive and negative from touching, but it's only a little piece of sticker, plastic, or sometimes it's paper, whatever it's made out of. It's not much in between that positive and that negative. So any type of force or anything can cause it to short. And once it shorts, it's going to heat up instantly. These batteries have so much power in them that if you dead short them, they heat up almost immediately. And when they heat up from a short, bam, they go into thermal runaway. They start exploding. Or, some guys purposely set them off by taking a nail and driving the nail through the side of them, shorting them out. I mean, that's pretty stupid. But I've seen them do that with one battery just to make them explode. But hey, man, like I said, if you got a battery pack and you got 100, 200, 18650s in one battery pack, and they go into thermal runaway and start exploding, man, that is a bomb. No doubt about it. So anyway, I ain't trying to scare you, because doesn't happen a lot, but it can happen. And if you have a battery pack that you got from the factory, you bought it from a store, whatever, 100% of the time they all come with BMSs inside, and that's what the BMS is for, so they won't overcharge, and that doesn't happen. But if you're a DIY person, sometimes you do things that you shouldn't be doing, like bypassing those BMSs, like charging them with something that you shouldn't be charging them with, something that's not regulated, something that doesn't have a cutoff when the batteries get fully charged. But you better know what you're doing. That's all I can say. But as far as your regular battery packs, like I say, you never store them fully charged. Not that that's going to happen. You just reduce, your cycles that you get out of that battery. If you're supposed to get 1,000 cycles out of that battery, and you start storing those batteries away fully charged and not discharging them correctly, you'll lose a whole lot of those cycles. You'll notice that if you were getting 30 miles out of a charge, you start getting 20 miles. And when it starts going down like that, your batteries, they don't have much life left in them. So anyway, that's just a tip. Never store your batteries away fully charged if you don't plan on riding your bike for a while. That's why if you notice, people that have drones, like those DJI drones, and they have those smart batteries, if you fully charge those and don't use your drone, after 10 days, they will start discharging themselves. And that's a good thing. That is a smart battery. Okay? That's one good thing about those DJI smart batteries. And that's why they cost so much, because they have that low protection circuit in there. You can fully charge them and don't have to worry about it. You put them up and you don't use them, after 10 days, they'll start discharging themselves. So that's that. I just wanted to talk about a little battery stuff there, because reason being, like I said, I came out with 68 volts, and I'm gonna stop topping my battery off every night, just because I was worried about having my voltage as high as possible and getting maximum speed, maximum performance. And after I thought about it, I got a limiter on there, man. This thing is cutting off at 40 miles per hour anyway, so I'm never reaching my maximum speed. So I don't need fully charged battery. And not only that, my region, with this controller that I'm using, the region doesn't start working until my battery gets down below 60%. So for the most part, if I'm topping this big battery off every night, I never get to use any regen because it's staying above 60%. I don't go far enough to get this big old battery down low enough. So I can be saving brake pads, man. Just imagine on a regular e-bike, you chew through brake pads. But imagine you having an e-bike that does 2 and 3 times faster than it normally should do. So if you zipping up to 40 miles an hour from light to light and have to jam on the brakes, them pads ain't lasting long at all. At all. But with regen, man, it's pretty amazing, man. That regen will almost stop this bike. It will stop it all the way down until it's just slow enough that you have to use the mechanical brakes to stop it the rest of the way. But if I'm rolling about 40 miles an hour and I apply that brake and the regen kicks in, it will slow me down to about 10 miles an hour, and then I use the mechanical brake to stop it fully or assist it in stopping all the way. But anyway, that's my little battery spill for the day. Like I said, even at 40% battery, I still have plenty. Look at that. I still have plenty enough torque where this thing still will power wheelie and all that. So, all right. Let me give you a little bit of riding, even though it's at nighttime. I was gonna make a video just with me riding tonight after I finish talking about that battery stuff. Let me see how long this video is. 21 minutes. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and end that right here, and then I want to start another video for riding. So take heed on what I said as far as these battery guys. They ain't nothing to play with. They're literally a bomb if you abuse them and overcharge them and don't know how to deal with them. Take it easy, take care. Deuces.